And welcome to the post-game show here at Time Warner Arena. I'm the coach, Dick Cox, joined by Carlos Smith. Well, Carlos, Coach Clifford mentioned this in the post-game press conference. Another one of the elite teams in the NBA comes to Charlotte. The Hornets battle them about as well as they can with a banged-up team, but too much talent on the other side of the court tonight.
Absolutely, and like you said, a lot of injuries for the Hornets right now, so they haven't played a lot of guys a lot of minutes right now. For the Clippers, they have a deep bench, so they get to just sub guys in, and for the Hornets, they have to keep using the same guys, and it's wearing them down, so it's kind of unfortunate for those guys, so I'm just hoping they can get healthy and get ready.
Did not help that the Hornets' probably most effective scorer, outside threat to bring you back in the game, Gary Neal, gets hurt with a shoulder contusion in the third quarter, does not return. And the guy who comes in his place does not score a point in his absence.
Yeah, it's hard, and Gary Neal has been one of the most productive guys coming off the bench, and with him out, I'm pretty sure they're hoping that either PJ or Kid Gilchrist can come back for the game Wednesday night, because they're going to need somebody to be able to come off the bench and give them some points. And right now, the way it's looking, there's not a lot of guys giving them a lot of points off the bench besides Gary Neal. Cody Zeller, he had a pretty stout game, but they really need some more guards to be able to step in and knock down some shots for them.
Since we talked last, I think this team is playing hard. I think they're laying it on the line. They're playing hard. Most of the guys are playing hard and competing. I won't single anybody out, though, but I think most of the guys are doing that, though. But this is just a monstrous stretch when you look. They've already played a team. They played the Grizzlies, who've got the best record in basketball. You played Portland out there, who was a playoff team last year, a lethal team. You played Golden State out there, who was one of the premier teams in the league. And you've got them again coming in there. I mean, this is one of those stretches where even if you're playing your best basketball, it's going to be tough. But when you're banged up and shots are not falling, and just looking tonight, though, Cody Zeller was the leading scorer tonight, though, it's tough. And this is one of those things where, every team goes through adversity. This team's just going through it early.
Yes, they are, and like you said, just injuries and this tough stretch of games. A lot of the teams that they're playing are going to be contenders or making the playoffs, so they're playing one of the toughest schedules out of anybody in the league right now. And Coach Clifford, he said that as well in his interview about the strength of schedule right now. So, and with injuries piling up, it's not going to be any easier for these guys until they can start getting healthy. But just hopefully they can start knocking down some shots as well, because that's one big thing they're having problems with, just knocking down shots. So hopefully it's still a long season. They can get healthy and knock down some shots for the next game. They have a shot.
Gigantic statistic looking at tonight. The difference in the game was 15 out of 32 from the three-point line for 47% for the Clippers, while the Hornets hit on 2 of 20. That's about a 36-point swing right there.
It is, and the shots were just falling all night for them. And just give those guys a lot of credit. A lot of the shots, Jamal Crawford was just making some tough shots for him. It was unbelievable, the shots that he was making. It was tough. But one thing I did like about the Hornets, they did get to the free throw line a lot more this game. Like that, 35 attempts, so they shows that they're being aggressive. Now they just got to try to make some jump shots now.
I mean, just listen to some of the statistics on the other side. Blake Griffin, who just was a bull in there taking it to the basket, had 22 points, 16 rebounds. DeAndre Jordan had a double-double with 11 points, 12 rebounds. Chris Paul had 22 points, 15 rebounds, and passed Jerry West on the all-time assist record tonight with his 15 assists.
Yeah, Chris Paul had a really solid game, and that's something you want from your point guard, is to have anytime your point guard can get you 22 points plus 15 assists. That's a big pickup right there. That means other guys will score. So one thing about it, I would like to see maybe Kemba Walker have more than 6 assists since he's the point guard, just get more guys involved. But at the same time, they have to be able to make shots, and just hopefully they can do something for the next game, because it's not going to get any easier.
No, because, we talked about this with Coach Clifford about how the Clippers shot the lights out tonight, and he said, well, we got two teams coming in the next two games that are just as good, if not better, at doing that. That you've got Portland, who their game is the three-point game, and that's how they came from 23 down to beat Charlotte out there. And then you got Curry and company with Golden State. I mean, you're looking at just a lethal weapon scoring machines from the perimeter coming in the next two games.
Yeah, those guys, this is two scary teams coming in that are going to be contenders in the West. And if you blink your eyes, they can go up by 20 in just a split second. So it's going to be hard for those guys. But I hope they can just stay aggressive for the next game, get to the free throw line. And hopefully they have some extra bodies to go in with them. And I like the fact that they played Cody Zeller a little bit more with the starters. It seems like it helps the game a little bit more when he plays with the starters because he gets more easier shots and better looks. So hopefully he'll be able to step up a little bit more the next game too.
Cody Zeller had a career high tonight, 17 points, and that's back-to-back games for him. Last night really played well against the Heat. Comes back with another good performance right there, though. You know, you wonder if they like what he's bringing off the bench, or maybe down the road of putting him in, because Marvin Williams had 7 points tonight, really not getting a lot of production out of that starting four position. He had 7 points, 4 rebounds tonight, though. And again, that's a position that you look at that night in, night out. Statistically, the Hornets are getting killed at.
Yeah, it really was a mismatch for him tonight because he really couldn't guard Blake Griffin. But your power forward has to be able to get you more than 7 points and 4 rebounds. It's just not going to work, especially being a big man in the paint. You have to be able to get more than 4 rebounds, because if you don't, it's going to be I think they out-rebounded them by 10 tonight. So it's one of the reasons why Marvin Williams got to be able to bang down low and get some more rebounds for those guys, because they really need them.
Again, tonight's final score was 113-92, and again, game was much closer than that. Unfortunately, they continue with a three-point mirage or raining threes like they were doing there when the game was pretty much out of range right there. But it stayed anywhere from a 6-point game to about a 12-point game for most of the second half.
Yeah, it really did. It just, like you said, they only piled up at the end of the game with those threes. They probably made about 4 or 5 of those threes right at the end of the game. But other than that, the game was close throughout the whole time, but just guys just making more shots on the other team. So that's really what it was. I mean, the Hornets did everything else pretty well, played solid defense and cut down on their turnovers, and just shots. The three-point shot was really the key for tonight's game.
Again, like you said, some bright spots were Cody's career high free throws attempts, 35 tonight, though. So maybe those are things you can build on. Again, you had Portland by 23 out there at their place, then maybe you can do it again here, though. That's why you play the game. The game's not played on paper, as you can see. It's played on this beautiful hardwood court, and the good thing about this game is you get to tip it off and play it again. Just come back and prove yourself again.
Absolutely, and it's 15 games into the season. These guys got a long way to go. I believe in these guys. I believe they'll make some changes, get guys healthy. They'll turn it around, because they still got a long way to go. Just some of the small things they got to work on, and just keep working at it, and shots will eventually fall for them.
That's going to do it tonight for Time Warner Arena. Your final score was the LA Clippers 113, the Charlotte Hornets 92. We'll be back with you later in the week with some more reports here from Time Warner Arena. Until then, have a good week, everybody.